Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Today Journey. I am very happy to see you here. Thank you so much for clicking and joining me today. My name is Sarah, and I am excited to spend this time with you. Today is special because we are going to learn English together in a calm, natural, and easy way. Before we begin, I want you to feel comfortable. There is no stress here. There is no pressure. This is a safe and friendly place for learning. You do not need to worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are normal, and they help us learn. You can be sitting at home, lying in bed, or even walking outside. Wherever you are, I am here with you, and we are learning together. Today, we will focus on English listening practice. Listening is very important when learning English. It helps you understand real conversations, improve your pronunciation, and feel more confident when people speak to you. I will also give you a clear and simple guide on how to learn English in an effective way. So please relax, maybe get a cup of tea or coffee, and enjoy this learning journey with me. Now, before we really start, I want to share something very important with you. Learning English is not a race. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to learn everything fast. What matters is progress, not perfection. Every day you practice, even for just 5 minutes, you are improving. Small steps every day make a big difference over time. I want you to know that I am proud of you. Many people want to learn English, but they never start. They wait or they feel afraid. But you are here today. You made a choice to learn. That is something special. You should give yourself credit because you deserve it. Now, let me ask you a simple question. Why do you want to learn English? Maybe you want to travel and speak with people from different countries. Maybe you need English for your job, your studies, or your future goals. Or maybe you just enjoy learning new things. Whatever your reason is, it is important. There is no wrong reason. Please remember your reason, especially on days when learning feels difficult. Some days you may feel tired or frustrated. That is normal. On those days, your reason will give you strength. It will help you continue and stay motivated. Today, we will talk more about listening practice, one of the most important skills in English. Listening helps you understand how English sounds in real life, not just in books. When you practice listening regularly, English will start to feel more natural and easier for you. Let us continue this journey together, step by step, with patience, confidence, and positivity. Let me tell you something interesting. Think about when you were a baby. Before you could speak your own language, what did you do first? You listened. You listened to your parents, your family members, and the people around you every day. You listened for many months before you said your first word. This is the natural way humans learn a language. The same thing happens when you learn English. You need to listen a lot before you can speak well. So if you feel frustrated because you cannot speak English perfectly yet, please do not worry. That feeling is completely normal. There is nothing wrong with you. You just need more listening time. Your brain needs time to understand English. It needs time to process the language, notice patterns, and recognize sounds. Learning a language is not instant. It happens slowly and naturally when you listen again and again. Many English learners make a big mistake. They try to speak too early, without enough listening practice. This is like trying to run before you can walk. First, you must build a strong foundation, and that foundation is listening. Without listening, speaking becomes very difficult and stressful. When you listen to English regularly, something amazing happens in your brain. Your brain starts to recognize words automatically. You do not need to translate every word in your head. You begin to understand the rhythm of English. You start to hear where one word ends and the next word begins. This is very important because real English does not sound like English in textbooks. People do not speak slowly or clearly like robots. In real life, English speakers connect words together. They use contractions, natural stress, and intonation. These things cannot be learned only by reading. You can only learn them by listening. Let me share a short story with you. I have a friend named Maria. Maria is from Brazil. When she first started learning English, she studied grammar books for 2 years. She knew many grammar rules. She could write English very well. On paper, her English looked perfect. But when Maria tried to talk to native English speakers, she had a big problem. She could not understand them. They spoke too fast. The words sounded unclear. Maria felt very disappointed and confused. She asked herself, "Why can I not understand them? I know all the grammar rules." The problem was not her intelligence. The problem was that Maria did not practice listening enough. She focused only on reading and grammar and ignored listening. So she decided to change her learning method completely. Maria started watching English TV shows every day. At first, it was difficult. She did not understand much. But she did not give up. She also listened to English podcasts while cooking, cleaning, and relaxing. She listened again and again, even when she did not understand everything. Slowly, something changed. After a few months, English started to sound clearer. She began to understand conversations more easily. Her listening improved, and then her speaking improved too. This happened because she gave her brain what it needed most: listening time. This is why listening practice is so powerful. If you listen regularly and patiently, English will start to feel natural. Trust the process, keep listening, and allow yourself time to grow. Maria continued her new learning habit every day. While she was cooking dinner, she listened to English podcasts. When she had free time, she watched English YouTube videos, just like the one you are watching now. She did not feel pressure. She simply listened and enjoyed the language. And then something amazing happened. After 6 months of consistent listening practice, Maria could understand English conversations easily. She could follow what people were saying without feeling lost. Even more surprising, her speaking also improved. She was speaking more naturally and with more confidence, even though she was not practicing speaking on purpose. How is this possible? It happens because when you listen a lot, your brain learns naturally. You start to remember common phrases. You learn correct pronunciation without thinking about it. You hear how sentences are formed in real life. Most importantly, you build confidence. When English sounds familiar, speaking becomes much easier. Now, I want to help you in the same way. I am going to give you a complete and simple guideline for learning English through listening. I will share methods that truly work. These are techniques used by successful English learners all over the world. If you follow these steps patiently and consistently, you will see improvement. You may not see results in one day or 1 week, but over time, progress will come. The first step is choosing the right listening materials. This step is very important. Many learners make a mistake here. They choose materials that are too difficult. For example, they try to watch complicated movies or listen to fast news programs. Then they feel frustrated because they cannot understand much. This makes learning stressful and unpleasant. You need to choose materials that match your level. A good rule is this: if you understand about 70 to 80% of what you hear, the material is perfect for you. This means you understand most of it, but there are still some new words and expressions to learn. This is the best level for learning. If you understand less than 50%, the material is too difficult. You will feel confused and tired, and you may want to give up. On the other hand, if you understand 100%, the material is too easy. In that case, you are not learning anything new. So try to find the balance. Find content that challenges you a little but not too much. You might wonder what kind of listening materials you should use. The good news is that today we have many choices. The internet gives us endless resources. You can watch YouTube videos made especially for English learners. There are thousands of helpful channels available. You can also watch channels like English Today Journey, where English is spoken slowly and clearly. This helps you understand better and feel more confident. You can listen while relaxing, eating, or doing daily activities. Learning does not need to be stressful. When you enjoy listening, English will slowly become a natural part of your life. Remember, listening is the key. Be patient, stay consistent, and trust the process. English will come to you step by step. You can also choose listening materials based on the topics you love. This is very important. When you enjoy the topic, learning English becomes much easier and more fun. For example, if you like cooking, watch cooking videos in English. Listen to how the speaker explains recipes and ingredients. If you like sports, watch sports news or commentary in English. If you enjoy travel, watch travel videos. When the topic interests you, you will want to listen more. When learning feels enjoyable, it does not feel like hard work. It feels like entertainment. And this is very good for your brain. Science shows that the brain learns better when it is relaxed and happy. When you enjoy what you're listening to, your brain becomes more open to learning new words, sounds, and expressions. Another excellent way to practice listening is through podcasts. Podcasts are very powerful tools for English learners. There are podcasts about almost every topic you can imagine. You can find podcasts about history, science, daily life, short stories, interviews, jokes, and much more. Many podcasts made for English learners use simple vocabulary and speak at a slower speed, which makes them easier to understand. One great thing about podcasts is that you can listen to them while doing other activities. You can listen while exercising, while traveling to work, while cleaning your house, or while cooking dinner. This allows you to add more English into your daily life without changing your schedule too much. This is called multitasking, and it is a very effective way to increase your listening time. Some learners worry and say, "But Sarah, if I am doing other things, I am not fully paying attention to the English." That is completely okay. You do not need to focus 100% all the time. Background listening is also helpful. Even if you are not listening carefully, your brain is still hearing English sounds, rhythm, and intonation. Over time, this helps English feel more familiar and natural. Of course, it is also important to have focused listening sessions. During these times, you should sit down, listen carefully, and try to understand as much as you can. But background listening and focused listening both have value. You can use both in your learning routine. Another great listening resource is audiobooks. If you enjoy stories and books, audiobooks are perfect for you. You can find audiobooks at many different levels. There are special books called graded readers. These books are written especially for English learners. They use simple grammar and common vocabulary, which makes them easier to understand. You can start with very easy audiobooks and slowly move to more difficult ones as your level improves. When you listen to audiobooks, it is very helpful to read the text at the same time. This means you listen to the audio while reading the words. This method is very powerful because you are training your ears and your eyes together. When you see the words and hear them at the same time, your brain connects spelling, pronunciation, and meaning. This helps you remember words better and understand English more deeply. Little by little, listening will become easier, and your confidence will grow. Remember, choose topics you love, enjoy the process, and be patient with yourself. Listening is a journey, and every minute you spend listening brings you closer to your goal. When you listen while reading at the same time, something very powerful happens in your brain. You start connecting the written words with the spoken sounds. Your brain builds strong connections. You learn how words are really pronounced, not just how they look on the page. You also learn how sentences are formed in real English. This method improves both your listening and your reading skills at the same time. Television shows and movies are also excellent tools for listening practice. Many English learners love this method because it is fun and entertaining. You are not just studying English, you are enjoying a story, following characters, and feeling emotions. This makes learning feel natural and enjoyable. I usually recommend starting with TV shows instead of movies. The reason is simple. TV show episodes are usually between 20 and 40 minutes long, which makes them easier to manage. A 2-hour movie can feel too long and tiring, especially for beginners. TV shows are also helpful because they use the same characters and similar situations again and again. This helps you get used to the characters' voices, accents, and speaking styles. Sitcoms are especially good for English learners. Sitcoms use everyday, natural English. They talk about family, friends, work, and daily life. This kind of English is practical and useful. You can use the phrases and expressions you hear in your own conversations. Now, let us talk about a very important question. Many learners ask me this: should I use subtitles or not? The answer is simple. It depends on your level and your learning stage. Let me explain the best and most effective way to use subtitles. The first time you watch a show or video, if it feels difficult, you can use subtitles in your native language. This helps you understand the story and enjoy what you are watching. Enjoyment is important because it keeps you motivated. But do not stop there. Next, watch the same episode or video again, this time with English subtitles. This is when real learning begins. You can see the English words while hearing them at the same time. Your brain connects sound, spelling, and meaning. You will notice new words, phrases, and expressions that you missed before. If you want to challenge yourself even more, watch the same content a third time with no subtitles at all. At first, this may feel difficult, but do not worry. Remember, you are not watching 3 different videos. You are watching the same one again. Each time, it becomes easier. Each time, you understand more. You will start catching words you did not hear before. You will understand sentences more clearly. This is because repetition is one of the most important keys to language learning. Your brain needs to hear things many times before they become natural. Do not feel lazy or bored watching the same content again. Repetition is not a waste of time. It is how your brain learns and remembers. Little by little, English will start to sound familiar. You will feel more confident. And one day, you will realize that understanding English feels easier than before. Be patient with yourself, enjoy the process, and trust repetition. Listening again and again is one of the strongest tools you have on your English learning journey. When you hear English again and again, the words slowly start to stay in your memory. This is how real learning happens. Now, let me introduce another very powerful technique called shadowing. Shadowing means listening to English and repeating it at the same time, like an echo. You try to copy the speaker exactly. You copy their pronunciation, their rhythm, their speed, and their intonation. This technique is used by professional interpreters and polyglots, people who can speak many languages very well. Shadowing is so effective because it trains your mouth and tongue to make English sounds correctly. Speaking English is not only about knowing words. Your mouth muscles also need practice. Shadowing helps your body learn English, not just your brain. It improves pronunciation, helps you think in English faster, and builds strong speaking confidence. When you try shadowing for the first time, it may feel strange or difficult. This is completely normal. Do not feel discouraged. Start with slow and clear audio, such as learner-friendly videos or podcasts. First, listen to one short sentence. Pause the audio and repeat the sentence several times until it feels comfortable. After that, try saying the sentence at the same time as the speaker. Do not worry about mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. The goal is not perfection. The goal is practice. Even just 5 minutes of shadowing every day can make a big difference in your speaking ability over time. Another very helpful technique is called active listening. Many learners ask about the difference between active listening and passive listening. Passive listening is when English is playing in the background while you're doing other things, like cooking or cleaning. You hear English, but you are not fully focused on it. Active listening is different. Active listening means giving your full attention to the English. You focus on understanding the message. You listen carefully. You may stop the audio, repeat parts, and think about the meaning. Both types of listening are useful, but active listening is where deep learning really happens. Here is a simple way to practice active listening effectively. First, choose a short audio or video, about 3 to 5 minutes long. Do not choose something too long or too difficult. Listen to it one time without stopping. Try to understand the main idea. Do not worry if you do not understand every word. Focus on the general meaning. Next, listen again. This time, pause when needed. When you hear a word or phrase you do not know, write it down. Try to guess the meaning using the context of the sentence. After you finish listening, look up the words you did not understand. Write down their meanings and example sentences. You can listen one more time after that. You will notice that the audio feels clearer and easier than before. This is because your brain has learned something new. Step by step, your listening ability improves. Remember, you do not need to do everything perfectly. Choose 1 or 2 techniques and use them consistently. Small daily practice is much better than long practice once a week. Be patient, trust the process, and keep going. Every minute you spend listening is helping your English grow stronger. After you write down the new words and their meanings, listen to the audio one more time. You will be surprised by how much more you understand. Words that felt confusing before will suddenly sound clear. Sentences will make more sense. This is a very powerful learning moment. This whole process may take around 30 minutes, even if the audio is only 5 minutes long. Some learners think this is too slow, but it is actually very effective. This is called quality practice. One focused session of active listening like this is much more valuable than many hours of listening without attention. Deep learning happens when you slow down and really focus. Now, let us talk about pronunciation for a moment. Many English learners worry a lot about pronunciation. They want to sound exactly like a native speaker. But here is an important truth. You do not need to sound like a native speaker. What really matters is that people can understand you clearly. This is called intelligibility. There are millions of people around the world who speak English as a second language. They all have different accents, and that is completely normal. In fact, it is beautiful. Your accent is part of who you are. You should not feel ashamed of it. However, clear pronunciation is still important. You want people to understand your words easily. The good news is that listening practice helps with this naturally. When you listen to English often, your brain starts copying the sounds you hear. Over time, your pronunciation improves without you forcing it. Listening also helps you learn stress and rhythm. In English, stress is very important. The meaning of a word can change depending on which part you stress. For example, the word record can be a noun or a verb, depending on how you say it. When you listen carefully to real English, you learn these patterns naturally, without memorizing rules. Now, let's talk about vocabulary. Many learners ask, how can I learn new words through listening? The first thing to understand is this. You do not need to know every single word in English. Even native speakers do not know all English words. English has hundreds of thousands of words, and no one knows them all. What you really need is a strong foundation of common words. The most common 2,000 words in English are used in about 80% of everyday conversations. That means if you learn these common words well, you can understand and communicate in many situations. So, focus on useful and frequent words first. When you're doing listening practice and you hear a new word, do not panic. Ask yourself, is this word important? Do I hear it often? If the word appears many times, it is probably useful, and you should learn it. Try to understand new words from context first. Listen to how the word is used in a sentence. Think about the situation. Often, you can guess the meaning without using a dictionary. After that, you can check the meaning to be sure. Write the word down, write its meaning in simple language, and write one example sentence. This helps your brain remember the word better. Then, when you hear the word again in the future, it will feel familiar. Learning English vocabulary through listening is natural and effective. Be patient with yourself. Little by little, your vocabulary will grow, your understanding will improve, and English will start to feel more comfortable and familiar. When you are listening to English and you hear a word you do not know, do not stop immediately to look it up in a dictionary. First, try to understand the meaning from the context. Context means the words around it, the situation, and the topic being discussed. Very often, you can guess the meaning of a word just by listening carefully. This is a very important skill for language learners. After you finish your listening session, then you can check the words you wrote down. Write these words in a notebook. Next to each word, Write a simple meaning and one example sentence. This helps your brain understand how the word is used in real life. Try to review these words regularly. Repetition is very important. It is how words move from short-term memory into long-term memory. When you see and hear a word many times, it becomes part of your natural English. Now, I want to share another very important tip with you. Create an English environment. You may ask, what does that mean? It means you surround yourself with English as much as possible in your daily life. You do not need to move to another country to do this. You can create this environment wherever you are. Start with simple changes. Change the language on your phone to English. Change the language on your computer to English. Follow English speakers on social media. Watch short English videos every day. Listen to English music. Even if you do not understand all the lyrics, it is still helpful. Your ears are learning the sounds, rhythm, and flow of English. You can also use small sticky notes around your house. Write English words on them and place them on objects. Put a note on your mirror, your refrigerator, your desk, or your door. Label things with their English names. Every time you see these words, you are reviewing them without effort. This kind of learning is very powerful because it happens naturally. When English becomes a normal part of your environment, something special happens. Your brain slowly starts to think in English. This is the goal. You want to reach a point where you do not translate every sentence in your head. Instead, you understand English directly, just like your native language. This takes time, but it is possible with regular exposure. Now, let us talk about something very important: consistency. Consistency is more important than intensity. What does this mean? It means that practicing English a little every day is better than practicing a lot only once in a while. For example, it is much better to practice English for 15 minutes every day than to study for 3 hours once a week. Why is this true? Because language learning is gradual. Your brain needs regular contact with the language. Think about exercise. If you want to build muscle or stay healthy, you need to exercise regularly. You cannot exercise for 10 hours in one day and then stop for a month. The same rule applies to learning English. Short, daily practice helps your brain remember and improve. Even on busy days, try to do something small in English. Listen to a short video. Read a few sentences. Review a few words. These small actions add up over time. I strongly recommend creating a daily English routine. It does not need to be complicated. Maybe you listen to English every morning while you're getting ready. Maybe you watch a short video in the evening. Choose a time that works for you and make it a habit. Remember, learning English is a journey, not a race. Surround yourself with English, practice a little every day, and trust the process. With patience and consistency, English will slowly become a natural and comfortable part of your life. You can create a simple daily English routine that fits your life. For example, every morning while drinking your coffee, you could watch a short English video. Every evening before bed, you could listen to an English podcast for 10 minutes. The key is to find a time that works for you and make it a habit. When you practice at the same time every day, it will eventually become automatic. After a few weeks, you will not even have to think about it. It will simply become part of your daily life, just like brushing your teeth or drinking water. I want to talk about something very important. Learning a language is not always easy. You will have difficult days. There will be times when you feel like you are not improving. You may think, I have been studying for months. Why am I not fluent yet? These feelings are completely normal. Every language learner experiences them. In fact, this is called a plateau. A plateau happens when you feel stuck and think you are not making progress. But here is the truth. You are making progress, even if you cannot see it right away. Learning a language is not a straight line. Some days you improve quickly, some days slowly. Sometimes you may feel like you are going backward, but you are not. Your brain is always working. It is processing and storing all the new information you are learning, even when it feels like nothing is happening. This is part of the learning process. During these difficult times, it is very important to remember why you started learning English. Think back to where you were a few months ago. Compare your skills now to your skills then. You might notice small improvements that you did not realize. Maybe you understand more words, maybe you can follow short conversations, or maybe you feel more confident when trying to speak. These small victories are important. Progress is progress, no matter how small it seems. Another way to stay motivated is to find a learning community. Learning English alone can feel lonely, but you do not have to do it alone. There are millions of English learners all around the world. You can connect with them. Join online forums or social media groups for English learners. Find a language exchange partner. This is someone who wants to learn your language while you want to learn theirs. You can help each other, practice together, and share your learning experiences. Having someone to share your journey with makes learning much more enjoyable. You can encourage each other when learning feels hard. You can practice speaking without feeling embarrassed. You can ask questions and get answers. Being part of a community reminds you that you are not alone. Other learners also face difficulties, so you can support each other. This will make your English learning journey more fun and less stressful. Remember, consistency and connection are keys to success. Daily practice, even a few minutes, adds up over time. Finding friends or a community keeps you motivated and inspired. Every small step you take brings you closer to your goal. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your victories, and enjoy your English journey. Progress comes little by little, but with time, it becomes real and noticeable. When you have a learning partner or a community, you can encourage each other every day. You can celebrate successes together, no matter how small. You can also support each other when things feel hard. Having someone to share your learning journey with makes it more fun, and it helps you stay motivated. You will feel less alone, and learning English will feel more like a shared adventure than a lonely task. Now, let's talk about something very important: making mistakes. Many learners are afraid to make mistakes. They worry about saying the wrong word or speaking incorrectly. Because of this fear, they sometimes stay silent and miss opportunities to practice. But here is the truth: mistakes are not your enemy. Mistakes are your teacher. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and improve. When you make a mistake and someone corrects you, your brain remembers the correction. You learn from it, and next time you are more likely to get it right. Native speakers make mistakes too. Everyone makes mistakes. It is completely normal. It is part of being human. So, please, do not let the fear of mistakes stop you from practicing. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. They show that you are learning. This is especially true for listening and speaking practice. When you do listening exercises and do not understand something, that is okay. When you try shadowing and cannot pronounce a word correctly, that is okay too. Keep trying. Keep practicing. Every time you make a mistake, your brain is learning, improving, and building stronger English skills. Now, I want to share some specific listening exercises you can do every day. These exercises are simple, but very powerful. The first exercise is called Listen and Summarize. Choose a short video or audio clip, maybe 2 to 3 minutes long. Listen carefully. Then, try to summarize what you heard in your own words. You can write it down or say it out loud. This exercise trains your brain to find the main ideas in what you hear. It also improves your understanding and your ability to express ideas clearly. The second exercise is dictation. Pick a short audio clip. Listen to a sentence and try to write exactly what you hear. Replay the audio as many times as you need until you can write it correctly. This exercise is challenging but very effective. Dictation trains your ear to notice every word. It improves your spelling and helps you understand how words are connected in natural speech. The third exercise is called Question and Answer. After listening to something, ask yourself questions about it. For example, what was the main idea? Who were the people talking? Where did the conversation take place? What happened first and what happened next? Try to answer the questions in English, either by speaking or writing. This exercise trains your brain to focus on details and improves your comprehension skills. By doing these exercises regularly, you are training your ear, your brain, and your speaking at the same time. They are simple, but when practiced daily, they make a huge difference. Listening, making mistakes, and practicing actively are the keys to improving English faster. Over time, your understanding will grow, your confidence will increase, and speaking English will become much easier. Another listening exercise I love is called question and answer. After you listen to a short story, a video, or a conversation, ask yourself questions about it. For example, what happened? Why did it happen? Who was involved? Where did it take place? Answering these questions proves that you truly understood what you heard. It also trains your brain to focus on important details and remember information better. You can answer the questions by writing or speaking in English. This is an excellent way to improve both listening and speaking skills at the same time. Here is another exercise called Listen and Predict. This is really fun, especially when you're watching a TV show, a short story, or listening to a podcast. Pause the video or audio in the middle and try to predict what will happen next. What do you think the characters will say? What will happen in the story? Then continue listening and see if your prediction was correct. This exercise makes you an active listener and helps you think in English instead of just translating in your head. It also improves your understanding of the language and makes learning more exciting. I want to talk about a common frustration many learners face. Sometimes you understand English well in a lesson or when a teacher speaks slowly, but when you listen to native speakers in real life, it feels much harder. You may wonder, why can't I understand them? The truth is that real-life English is very different from classroom English. In real conversations, people speak quickly. They use slang, idioms, and contractions. They may have accents, mumble, interrupt each other, or leave sentences unfinished. This is natural speech, and it is normal that it feels difficult at first. To get better at understanding real-life English, you need to listen to real, natural content. Watch TV shows, movies, podcasts, or videos where native speakers talk naturally. Do not worry if you only understand a little at first. Your brain is learning to recognize patterns, rhythm, and sounds. With regular practice, your brain will adjust. Over time, you will notice that understanding natural speech becomes easier and easier. Patience and consistent listening are the keys. To help you practice consistently, I want to give you a practical 30-day listening challenge. You can start today. For the next 30 days, commit to listening to English for at least 20 minutes every single day. It can be anything you like: YouTube videos, podcasts, audiobooks, TV shows, movies, anything. The most important rule is that you do it every day. No excuses. If you miss a day, simply start the 30-day challenge over again. To stay motivated, keep a calendar and mark each day when you complete your listening practice. After 30 days, look back and see how much progress you have made. One great way to measure improvement is to watch something you watched on day one. You'll be surprised by how much more you understand now compared to the first day. Your listening skills, vocabulary, and confidence will all improve with this simple, daily practice. By practicing these exercises, predicting, answering questions, and listening to real-life English, you are training your brain to think in English. You are improving your comprehension, your memory, and your ability to speak naturally. With consistency and patience, your English will continue to grow day by day, and you will feel more confident in real conversations. When you finish the 30-day listening challenge, you will notice that daily English practice starts to feel natural. It will become a part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth or drinking coffee. After the first 30 days, you can continue for another 30 days, and then another. By practicing regularly for months, you will make long-term progress. Small, consistent steps are the key to improving your English over time. Another very useful technique is understanding the difference between intensive listening and extensive listening. Intensive listening is when you focus on a short audio or video and study it carefully. You listen to it multiple times, pay attention to every word, look up new vocabulary, study grammar, and even practice shadowing. Intensive listening is slower, but it is very thorough. It helps you learn deeply and understand details. On the other hand, extensive listening is when you listen to longer content just for enjoyment or general understanding. You do not stop to look up every word. You just try to follow the main ideas. Extensive listening helps you get used to the flow of English, the rhythm, and how native speakers speak naturally. Both intensive and extensive listening are important. You can balance them by doing, for example, 15 minutes of intensive listening and 30 minutes of extensive listening every day. Now, let's talk about one of the most important parts of language learning, repetition. Repetition is how your brain truly remembers new words, phrases, and sounds. Your brain needs to hear something many times before it becomes automatic. Listening to something once is not enough. Listen to the same audio or video multiple times. Each time you listen, you will notice new words or phrases. You will understand expressions better. You will hear details you missed before. Some learners listen to the same podcast episode 10 times or more. Some watch the same TV show episode 5 times. This may sound boring at first, but it is extremely effective. Repeating content helps your brain store the language deeply. Over time, the words and phrases become automatic. You do not need to think about them. They just come naturally when you speak or listen. Do not always try to find new content. Sometimes repeating what you have already listened to is even more valuable. Make repetition a part of your daily practice. By combining intensive listening, extensive listening, and repetition, you train your brain to recognize words, understand grammar patterns, and get used to natural English. This is how fluency is built. Over time, with consistent daily practice, repetition, and a mix of listening types, your comprehension will improve. You will start to understand native speakers more easily. You will notice words and phrases sticking in your memory. You will feel more confident listening, speaking, and enjoying English. Daily practice, small steps, and repeated exposure are what turn English from something you study into something you naturally understand and use every day. I want to encourage you to be kind to yourself. Learning a language is not easy. It takes time, effort, and patience. There will be moments when you feel frustrated, moments when it seems too hard, moments when you feel like giving up. These feelings are normal, and every learner experiences them. But please remember, you are capable of learning English. Thousands of people started exactly where you are now and became fluent English speakers. You can do it too. The main difference between people who succeed and those who give up is consistency. Successful learners keep going, even when they do not feel motivated. They practice even when progress feels slow. They continue even when things are difficult. That same strength is inside you. Believe in yourself. Trust the process. Keep listening. Keep practicing. Keep learning. Every small step adds up over time. Now, let's talk about some specific resources to help you start listening practice today. On YouTube, there are many channels designed for English learners. Look for channels that speak slowly and clearly. For example, you can follow channels like English Today Journey, which is designed for learners. Other good channels include Easy English, Learn English with TV series, English with Lucy, and many more. These channels will help you hear natural English in a way that is easier to understand. For podcasts, there are many options that are short, fun, and perfect for learners. Try 6-Minute English by BBC Learning English. Each episode is short and focused on interesting topics. Try All Ears English, which teaches American English and natural conversations. Try The English We Speak, which focuses on idioms and expressions that native speakers use every day. Podcasts are great because you can listen while doing other things like cooking, walking, or commuting. For audiobooks, I recommend using graded readers. These are books written specifically for English learners at different levels. Two popular series are Oxford Bookworms and Cambridge English Readers. Start with level 1 or 2 and gradually move to higher levels as you improve. Listening to audiobooks while following along with the text is a powerful way to improve both listening and reading skills. For TV shows, start with shows that use everyday English and clear speech. Shows like Friends or How I Met Your Mother are great because they focus on daily conversations, humor, and simple situations. Animated movies are also excellent because the speech is usually slow and clear, and the stories are easy to follow. Watching TV shows and movies helps you learn how real people talk in natural situations. Finally, I want to share one more powerful technique called visualization. When you listen to English, try to imagine what is happening. Picture the people, the actions, and the setting in your mind. If you hear a story about a person going to the market, imagine the market, the colors, the sounds, and the conversation. Visualization makes listening more active. Your brain connects the words to images, which helps you remember them better. It also makes listening more fun and engaging. By combining these resources, YouTube channels, podcasts, audiobooks, TV shows, and visualization, you create a rich, enjoyable English environment. Remember, the goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. Listen a little every day, repeat what you hear, and enjoy the process. Over time, your brain will adjust, your comprehension will improve, and speaking English will start to feel natural. Another very useful technique for improving your English is called visualization. Visualization means creating pictures in your mind while you listen. For example, if someone is describing a place, try to imagine that place in your head. See the colors, the shapes, the surroundings. If someone is telling a story, imagine the story like a movie playing in your mind. Try to see the characters, their actions, and the events. This technique does two important things. First, it keeps you engaged and focused. When you actively imagine what you hear, your brain pays more attention. Second, it helps your brain make strong memory connections. When you visualize something, it is easier to remember. Your brain links the sounds you hear with images you create. This makes your learning stronger and more lasting. Visualization works especially well with stories and narratives because you can create a whole world in your imagination as you listen. Instead of passively hearing English, you make listening active, fun, and creative. I also want to talk about the importance of rest. Many learners think that the more they study, the faster they will improve. But this is not true. Your brain needs time to process and consolidate what you have learned. If you study for many hours without breaks, you will feel tired, and your learning will not be effective. It is better to study smart, not just hard. Take short breaks during study sessions. Give your brain time to relax. Sleep is especially important for learning English. While you sleep, your brain organizes memories and strengthens the learning you did during the day. Have you ever noticed that after a good night's sleep, something that felt difficult the day before suddenly seems easier? That is your brain working to process the new information. Without enough rest and sleep, your learning will be slower, and it will be harder to remember new words, phrases, and grammar patterns. Balancing study and rest is a key part of improving your English. Make sure your daily routine includes short study sessions, listening practice, and enough time to rest. Even just a 10-minute break every hour can help your brain stay fresh and focused. A healthy routine gives your brain the energy it needs to absorb and retain new knowledge. Remember, learning English is not just about listening, repeating, or reading. It is also about taking care of yourself. Rest, breaks, and sleep are all part of your learning process. By combining active listening, visualization, and proper rest, you create the ideal environment for your brain to learn efficiently. You will notice that with regular practice and care for your body and mind, English becomes easier to understand and more enjoyable to learn. Language learning is a journey. Visualization makes it engaging, rest makes it effective, and daily practice makes it consistent. When you listen actively, imagine clearly, and take care of your brain, you are using every tool available to improve. Over time, your understanding will grow, your memory will strengthen, and speaking English will feel more natural. Keep practicing, keep imagining, and keep resting. Your progress depends not only on effort but also on balance and smart learning habits.